let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
First two first-round picks and maybe an additional pick, do you think drafting Fernando Mendoza would produce any better results if he was playing against the Bears today? Because not only did Shedeur have a bad game, but it seems like the game plan to play against the Bears was awful. The execution from the team as a whole was awful. The scheme was awful. So I'm more disappointed in the fact that Shedeur's haters, the people that are excited to see him have a bad game, that want to see him fail, this is their opportunity to say, well, we told you so, just because he had a bad game. What do you think about everything I just presented to you? Thanks.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Let's welcome in Jimmy Watkins. He is a columnist for the Plain Dealer, cleveland.com. Jimmy, there's no way to game plan around a really bad offensive line and a wide receiving core that's bad. Those are the two things that I would say. Relative to, Shedeur haters, non-haters, I didn't expect much because you weren't giving them anything to work with against the Bears.
Yeah, I think it would be fair to call a couple of the recent Browns losses, coaching losses with all these special teams blunders and late game penalties, that sort of thing. I think yesterday, pretty cut and dry, was a front office loss because, like you said, Jerry Jeudy, who, low risk trade, right? Low risk trade to get Jerry Jeudy. We're swapping late round picks, and that that's all well and good to take swings like that, but then to extend him immediately when he hadn't really showed you a ton, and then he has 6 good weeks last year. Since then, he's kind of looked like Jerry Jeudy, and the rest of the receiving core is what it is in part because you've missed on some draft picks, right? Like Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash is waived over the weekend. These are later picks, but you have to wear them because you got to work with what you got. The offensive line depth. I mean, no one. Let's be clear. For the amount of injuries the Browns had yesterday, no one has that kind of offensive line depth in the NFL. We can barely find enough offensive linemen to fill 32 starting rosters, let alone give them 5 who can come in case of emergency. And a lot of these guys are young guys who've played limited, if any, snaps in the league. But that still goes back to what have you been investing in the offensive line? This offensive line's been getting older and older and older over the last few years. You've known that the buck was coming. You know that next year there's nobody. You're going to have to figure something out. And the 2 draft picks that they've used on them in recent years, one's Zach Zinter, a top 100 pick. That's not premium capital, but it's not nothing. And the dude is inactive almost every week. DeJuan Jones has shown promise, but he gets hurt a lot. And the more someone shows me that they get hurt a lot, the less I believe that they will stay healthy in the future. And I understand the premise of best player available. You start drafting for need. You start reaching in ways that might have you looking uncomfortable. But I don't know. Maybe there's such thing as an extreme need, and the Browns have had an extreme need for future protection at the offensive line position for a little bit now. And it's a fair point to say that, to watch that game and say, so clearly there are numerous holes to address on the roster, and then you're going to spend 2 premium picks on one position where that's quarterback. Say like Shedeur wasn't good yesterday, but yesterday was much more a Browns loss than a Shedeur loss. He had bad turnovers, but he also had a literal touchdown turned into an interception by one of his wide receivers, the aforementioned Jerry Jeudy. So it's like that's one place where you actually feel like you could get by next year at the very least, and you feel like that guy. I want to see a little bit more of him, and then you're going to spend 2 picks. Yes, it's the most important position at sports, but I think it's fair to watch that game. And again, that game, not the best representation. Even if the Browns just conveyor belt the entire offensive line on and bring in 5 or 6 new guys next year, they'll probably look better than that group did yesterday. And I'm not taking shots at anyone. Those dudes just haven't played a lot of football, and that was a tough position for them to be put in. But yes, I hear that. I see that line of thinking. I see that what's the definition of insanity? Just keep on spending more premium draft picks on quarterback, which yes is important, but then giving him nothing to work with. Like, what do you expect?